do you think?
That side's mine, and this side is yours.
So I was power washing the vinyl siding. You can see where I have done, and then you can probably see like the second window where it's all mildewy and whatnot. And then I thought, well, I should probably clean off this deck because it needs to be refinished anyway. And underneath this tree, it's always shaded here. This is the north side of the house anyway, so it doesn't see a lot of sun, and this is really slippery when it gets wet. And it's just time for the deck to be refinished. You can see some of the existing stain over here. So we have this oscillating head, and basically there's a, I don't know if you can see in there, there's a wand on the inside that oscillates in a circle.
Turn it towards the light. There, now I can see it.
And here I can put it on, and it might rotate just a little bit with just with the hose pressure. Maybe I can get it on. So try not to get it wet. Ready?
No, it's gonna.
Okay, so now you can see it. Here, maybe.
We'll do it down. Yeah.
See how it spins in a circle like so? Mm-hmm. Okay, so when there's a lot of pressure on it, it'll continue to spin in a circle, and that way it doesn't. Number one, doesn't leave streaks. If it does leave some, it misses, so it looks like raindrops on it. You can always go back over. If you use just a flat wand, number one, if you don't have just the right angle, it'll cut into the wood, which would ruin the wood. It would tear up the fibers. This here is white cedar, so it's a very, very soft wood. And you notice if I go straight up and down, it won't tear up the wood at all. If I went on an edge, on an angle like this, it probably would tear it up, just because that oscillating head is coming around like this and tearing up the fibers. So I try to keep it straight up and down, and go across and back and across and back, and you just see it wash it away. Okay, so
I thought you missed a spot here, but I think that's
no, that's just the original.
the way the wood is.
Yeah, a couple knots there. I think it's tighter grain. When I'm washing, I'm always angling down on the siding, because this is vinyl siding, and every about third tier here, it overlaps, and we don't want to push the water up in behind the siding if we can help it. So I'm always angling down. And again, I'm basically like I'm painting it on, only I'm picking it off. So I'm going to go across one like so, and then back on the same one, and then back up, over, back on the same one. I'll pull it out, and this oscillating head will cover two of them the further out I go. And that way, if I happen to miss a spot, it blends it together. So let me see if I can see a spot where I may have missed.
A pretty small section. Probably got most.
Okay, so right here's a spot I may have missed. See right here?
Mm-hmm.
So if I went across once, across twice, fanned it out, so I came back a little bit, went across once, went across twice.
Yeah, you can see right in here.
So although I missed it, it's all blended in. Where if I used a traditional head will have this slot in it, and it'll fan just in one direction like so. Okay, so if you're going this way, I'll show over here. If I'm going this way back and forth, that's just fine, but just as soon as I turn it on an angle a little bit, it would definitely leave a line, because there's so much pressure in just that straight line that you'd be able to see it. So with the oscillating head, you know, if you happen to miss a spot, you don't see it. It's covered up pretty easily, or maybe not covered
blends
up.
in
Blends
compared
in,
to yeah, blends in.
So anyway, it seems to be working really well. And then eventually I'll get up on the ladder and I'll get the soffit. I'll have to use a brush because I can't quite get that.
You don't notice a difference until you start cleaning sometimes.
can see what the house looked like previously, before washing. And then over here, this is done. I gotta rinse this yet, but. But that oscillating head, I think it's about $30, or it was.
What is the brand of the power washer? And
So it's a Simpson, it's a 3400 PSI, 2.5 gallons per minute, and 3400 is a little bit larger than the general homeowners version. I think the general homeowners version is around 2000 or 2400 PSI. And I wanted that a little bit stronger because we use it for a lot of deep cleaning, like I don't know, for example, cleaning off the bottom of the mower deck on the riding lawnmower. It's a big mower. I think it's 60 inches, and I can put that oscillating tool on and it'll cut all of the grime and grass and all that sort of thing right away, so that I have to do very minimal prep when I paint it in the fall. And what else do we use it for? Clean up grease.
yeah, so the oscillating head. So these are the different types of heads right here.
Yeah, so it's just a degree measure. So 0 degrees, just
okay.
a very straight line. 15 degrees.
Hold on a second. Okay.
15 degrees fans out, you know, just a little bit. 25 fans out a little further. 40 the most. And then there's this soaping head, which we do use sometimes. It takes a lot of soap,
for the
though.
car. We use that on the car a little bit.
Yeah. The oscillating one is not the best for a vehicle because it'll literally take the paint right off if it's already got a rust bubble or flake. It'll get underneath there and it'll just peel the paint right off, so you wouldn't want to do that. However, it does work great for taking bugs off of the front of the vehicle. And it works great on glass.
More of like pulling up and kind of stripping in a way.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Not sure what else we use it for.
But the oscillating right now is like perfect for this.
Yeah.
The
So
siding.
we use it for cleaning up the honey equipment, for extracting honey. The sugar shack, use it for cleaning up all the pans and whatnot from the maple syrup evaporator. Doug uses hot water through his.
Got just a bug. I don't think it's a tick.
So I gotta keep moving.
Okay.
It's a nice
awesome.
day. Got another nice day tomorrow. It'll dry out, and then on to rain, I think.
And to the next project.
Indoor projects.
How far away are you when you, like the head to, it's about like 18 inches or so?
I think maybe it's closer to 18 inches.
Okay.
You notice I'm being really careful when I start it because there's a lot of pressure when I first let it go, so I always aim it away first. And then also I'm being careful whenever I put it on an angle, I'm backing up. Because if I'm going to go like that, it'll tear the fibers right up off the wood. So. After this dries, the fibers are going to stand up a little bit. Partly because of the power washer. We got underneath and got that grime out of there. But also because it's wet, so the fibers of the wood are going to expand and they're going to pop up. So like quills on a porcupine, they'll pop up. And so I'll have to do a quick sand over this whole thing before I apply the final finish, the stain. So you wouldn't want to just power wash it and then put the finish on, because there will be some of those fibers sticking up. And that goes with any kind of washing, whether using a brush or a pad or sponge or power washer. I don't know if it's not too much standing up now, but when it dries, so the water makes those fibers swell up, and when they dry, they'll be standing up. So we'll just do a quick sand and cut those off. You're literally cutting them off, and then apply the finish, the stain. I don't know if we have to sand all of that stain or use a stripper to get it off. We'll just test a few spots and see how it goes. But that over there didn't get as much of the weather because it's underneath the eave.
Mm-hmm.
So scrubbing vinyl siding, that's originally how we came across that oscillating head.
Mm-hmm.
I use it for peeling cedar post when I was like on the cabin, when I was making all the coping and stuff for the porches.
Mm-hmm.
Peel the bark right off and
So
clean them
you
up.
get closer than you are in the deck, so that it is more.
Not
intense?
necessarily.
Or does it
I mean,
peel
just
off pretty much
Peels
the
off pretty
same?
easily, just the same.
Okay.
Just depends on how wet it is, when it was cut, that sort of thing.
Okay. Good. I'll let you go back to work.
All right, sounds good. Ciao.
Ciao.
So, showed you the siding, showed you the deck. Now I'm going to show you the concrete. So you got this little slab right here, and this we don't have to worry about how close or how far away, because it's not going to damage the concrete. So.
Yeah, awesome. So then this here is all shiny. Then you have the outside of the deck.
Yep.
And then
The rest of this side, you have a lot more. But
there's here just filthy.
I'll show you how I do this real quick here.
Do what? Oh,
So this is, again, the north side. You can see all this buildup. It's like moss, almost moss now. So just trying to get that cleaned up. No soap, again, just with the oscillating head.
Are you doing the brick underneath?
I'll do a final wash down with that after. So I start at the bottom, work my way up just so I can see more or less. And then on the way back down, I'll wash all the debris off.
Okay.
So always angling down just a little bit. Oh, there you are. So you pretty much see right here, this is where I've cleaned and this is where I haven't. And this is all that debris, even if I scrub with my hand, just literally draw a line from it. Good stuff?
Yep.
So generally, what I'll do is I'll go all along the bottom and then I'll get a ladder and then do the top, and that way I can wash it all down after.
Okay, carry on, carry on.
Going to sand down this deck and refinish it. Before I do that though, there are a few nail pops, which is when the board kind of freezes and then dries, expands and contracts, it'll push that nail out. So some of these nails have popped up. I don't want the sandpaper to catch on them, so I'm going through and I'm pounding them down. Before I do that, I want to show you what type of hammer to use. So we want a hammer that's not going to leave a dent in the wood, one that's got a rounded head. And you can see I've got a couple of them here. So this is kind of rounded head. You can't see it real well, but there's no sharp edges on the outside. This is a framing hammer, and I actually ground some of these sharp edges off, but you can see that they're much sharper right here, and they can leave a dent in the wood. It's kind of boogered up because this is used for driving strikes and yanking nails and those sorts of things, so it gets kind of beat up a little bit, where this is more of a finishing head, although this one's pretty rough because it's used for hard finishing. But this is round. It won't dent up the wood as I tap these down. So I'm just going to go through and set every one of these nails. If I come to a loose one, I may have to put in a screw, and I'll be able to sand this down. Here we have some popped at the end of this board. If the boards are springy, we can just push them down and hold them. Grab the nail, they'll stay in there. Okay, so this looks pretty good now. It's a pretty small deck, so there's not a whole lot to do, but there are a few boards that are lifted there. I'm going to repair those with a screw on each one, just to make sure they stay secure and it's not a trip hazard. And we'll get to sanding and refinish this thing. Driven down any nails and screwed down any boards that may have been popping. So this has all been cleaned, power washed already. And got most of the grime off of it, got most of the old stain off, and right now I'm just going to go through with this random orbital sander and knock off anything that might be any fibers that may have stood up from that water process, and maybe knock off a little bit of the stain from the previous time done, and then later on we'll put a fresh coat on. So this is not going to be a real heavy sand. I'm just going to do with 150 to knock off any of the fibers that may have been sticking up. I'll show you some of those real quick here. So like here's some fibers that have risen up a little bit, and we can just do a quick sand on that. Literally with that much, it knocks them right off. So this deck is made out of cedar, and you know, it's pretty resilient. It's not treated wood, but it's the next best thing to treated wood. So we'll just give all this a quick sand, the entire bench and floor, and see how it looks. Okay, so quicksand like that, I did about 3-foot sections, again with 150 grit. Knock down any of the loose stuff, just clean it up a little bit, and it will accept the stain and protect it for another, probably 3 years or so. Again, this is cedar deck. You may not have to go as in depth with some treated stuff, but this deck is about well, at least 30 years old, so it's held up well this way, and we'll give it another go.